Okay, Sunday night, 6/23/19, June 23rd. Doug from Salt Lake. What's up? What's up? Sorry, I've been really busy. Welcome to the new people. We've got a couple hundred people now, and I'm going to try to put this in perspective. My computer has been giving me issues because I have downloaded so many documents and been reading so many articles about the empty promises given to us by the government corporation known as the state of whatever fucking state you live in. I apologize. It's been a minute, but let me show you a couple of things that will confirm if you are on this site and you are watching these videos, then you probably know what a straw man is. And I got this the other day from, let's see if I can blow this up just a little bit here for you. So this right here, see how it's all capitalized? And see how it says the word debtor in there? Yeah. So the state of Utah is trying to make a contract with your straw man, my straw man. And this is from the case that I filed in court that I've already paid for, but they're saying that I owe them money for this case. 2018 is how that works. This is the Department of Corrections from 2012 and 2012. Okay, everything that starts with a 12, and then this is just a typo. They added a 1 in there, but that's 12. And what they've done is they gave me a correction number, and then that's actually a sheriff's office number. And then they had a case that I got in 2012, and I had another case in 2012, and they have adult probation and parole. They've given me another case number, which is the exact same number, and then they've given me another number with an A on it and another number with a B, and I'm assuming that this one is this case and this one is this case. So you see how they just multiply something that I paid $350 for that got dismissed. If you're on here, you can go back several videos. I went to court. I tried to tell them there's no affidavit of service and that the whole thing is void, and they threw it out because they're clerks and they work for the agency. They do not work for you. This is the Department of Corrections. Yes, I went to prison back in 2012. I made my mistakes. I paid my debt to society. And this case, and this case, and this case, I have no idea what this is. But if you round all these cases together because they have a social security number and an all caps name, I all of a sudden owe them $3,000. Okay? So if you have any how do I say, if you're struggling with the evidence that has been given to you that there is a straw man and it is not you, and if you're struggling with the fact that the government produces nothing, they manufacture nothing, and they have nothing but slaves, which are these all capitalized names that you are the surety for. Let me show you another one here. This is another document I got the other day in March, April, May, June, last month. And you'll notice that it's all capitalized, but it doesn't have to be all capitalized. So see, this is the person that they have in handcuffs, and this is the person they're trying to get to contract with. Okay? And if you kind of read this, this is all that stuff that I got from them, proving that they are all in contract. And I got so many documents from them the other day from the Office of Recovery Services and the AOC, which is the Administrative Office of the Courts. And here's that one right here. and you will see that this is this is ORS, which is the Office of Recovery Services reimbursement. Okay? So this down here, AOC, goes to the Administrative Office of the Courts, and this is ORS. Okay? And let's look at this. This is Section A. You know what? Let's blow this up a little bit. Can you see it better now? Sorry. Salary and benefits for the district court clerks working on Title 4D cases, $6,000. Administrative appeal cases, $22. Salary and benefits for district court clerks for data entry. Oh, look at this one right here. Here's the money shot right here. Salary and benefits for court commissioners, $41,000. Wow. These people have an interest. And if you thought you were going into that courtroom and the law enforcement cop sitting over in the corner and the judge slash, clerk masquerading as a judge and the AG's office, or the, let's put it this way, the attorneys that are all around you, and the commissioner, magistrate, clerk, the court clerks, everybody in that room is in contract with each other. And it's all about the money, man. It's all about the money. So like I said, I've been extremely busy, and I have basically exhausted my administrative process. Okay? Nobody will answer me. And let me tell you, man, just because you do your secured party and you take an interest and you take control of your estate and your trust does not mean that these motherfuckers are going to let one of their slaves run off the plantation. Okay? They're not going to let you go. And I think one of the hardest things that I've had to grasp is someone said something, and I think it was Yusufel said, the public debt shall not be questioned. And I got kind of an issue with that, man, because I don't owe these people. Okay? And that's where I'm having a struggle with, I've been told over and over, man, quit fighting these people and just discharge the debt. And we're going to get to that too in another video. So anyway, I have exhausted my administrative remedy. I'm tired of talking to these clerks that just ignore paperwork. I'm tired of sending it to these administrative agencies with these fucking idiot bitches. Excuse my French. For the women out there, I apologize, but it always seems to be some broad that's sitting in a cubicle somewhere that thinks that she has control over my life and will not validate the claim because she doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay? She won't validate the debt. She won't show me a contract. They don't do anything because they don't know what you're talking about. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to live and pay my rent and find the address of the person in charge that I can speak to and show them documents that say, hey dude, I'm not your fucking slave anymore. These are called invisible contracts, adhesion contracts. I didn't consent, so let me go. So I decided that I was going to write a letter to the governor, and I saw this on another one of the videos that I saw. And so let's go through this real quick. This is going to be to the governor of Utah. This is Mr. Herbert. I hope this correspondence finds you well. The reason for my writing is to rebut any presumptions of my status vis-a-vis, which means face-to-face, with state actors within the state of Utah as it relates to my private capacity as an American citizen. So see, I am trying to live my life in the private, but these people keep coming over into the private and they're trying to contract with me. I am demanding to be placed on the do not detain list, as I am not desirous, which means I don't desire, to participate or contract with the state of Utah in its corporate capacity, its agents, or its agencies. Nor do I wish to contract with said actors of said agencies or their special laws. Okay? Now, we'll get into this in a little bit. I'm going to try to make this a little quicker than usual. But all of those laws and rules and regulations and codes and statutes do not apply to you and me. You know what? Let me show you something. This is a document I found, and a state like a merchant makes a contract. A dishonest state like a dishonest merchant willfully refuses to discharge. Okay, that's what we're looking for, man. I'm trying to discharge this shit. Okay. So, you know, there's just so much stuff in here, man. So, how about we find the one I'm looking for here? Okay, here's just one of them. This says many courts commit fraud under color of law. Okay, we all know what color of law is. When they refuse to disregard the basic and fundamental requirement that proof of jurisdiction appears on the record, that the defendant is subject to the rules, codes, and regulations. Here's one. This is 1985. Okay, this is federal supplemental. This is U.S. Department of Labor, Ray Donovan versus Rodriguez. All codes, rules, and regulations are applicable to government authorities only, not humans, in accordance with God's laws. All codes, rules, regulations are unconstitutional and lack due process. Well, fuck, I've told you that 100 times. Then get off me. Here's another one. When acting to enforce a statute and its subsequent amendments, that means codes and regulations and ordinances and all that, to the present date, the judge of the court is acting as an administrative officer and not judicial. Courts in administering or enforcing statutes do not act judicially, but merely ministerially. That's Thompson versus Smith. Okay? Here's another one. Ministerial officers, who are talking about the clerks, are incompetent to receive grants of judicial power from the legislator. Their acts in attempting to exercise such powers are nullities. So anyway, I'm not your slave. Okay? I don't wish to contract with any of your special laws. Okay? They're administrative procedures. They do not apply to me. Firstly, I would like to thank you for your diligent work on my behalf. I feel your sworn and verified public offer in the form of your solemn sworn oath of office. Okay? Always bring that up just so they know, hey, whoa, this guy might know about my oath. And the corresponding fidelity bond. Okay? If you know about the bond too, you might perk their ears a little bit. And they might start listening to you because, you know what you're doing. You know they have an oath of office, and you know they have a bond that you can get to uphold and defend the constitutional provisions and commercial code is fair. Okay? In other words, I accept your oath of office and your bond, and I accept it for value because it gives me peace of mind knowing you are working for me to ensure my interests are protected. Okay? Now remember, I'm talking to the governor. Okay? I have confidence in your abilities to resolve matters regarding my personal and commercial satisfaction by standing within the boundaries of your sworn oath and supervising your subordinates for whom you are responsible. Please contact the Attorney General and his assistants and see to it that they also stay in their boundaries, as is required of all public servants. Recently, it has come to my attention that your agencies have corporate administrative policies, procedures, codes, statutes, regulations, and ordinances that do not apply to me. I have the right to go about my business unmolested without being subject to arbitrary and capricious dictates, opinions, or edicts of administrative clerks in the state legislature. I have also learned that these codes and others are for corporations as defined in U.S. code and have nothing to do with me. I have constitutionally protected rights that are being violated by administrative clerks using me for the surety for the all caps name. And the state has been administering property, you know what, that should say my property, without my consent. Okay, administering property without my consent. I am not in possession of any valid documents subjecting me to your administrative or legislative oversight. I have filed my UCC, okay, and I have taken control. I have a controlling interest in all my property, and I am the holder in due course. Okay, what does that mean? That means I have a copy of my birth certificate. It's certified. It's in my possession. That means I'm the boss. Any presumed contracts between us are void, nunc pro tunc, from the beginning, from here to now, from then to here, and any adhesion contracts are also void. Correspondence these days is necessary as the climate of today's interaction between public officials and private citizens has become so confrontational to the point that I am concerned about my safety when I am conducting my private affairs in public. I am not a slave. I am not a corporation. I'm not a federal or state employee. I am a state citizen, and I will no longer be treated as chattel property of the state. The ignorance and blatant disregard of civil rights, private rights, and protected rights by some public officials, not all, but some, lately has become unbearable, such as was the case with Nurse Wobbles. You guys all remember that? I'm sure it was on the internet. That was here in Utah. She told this punk-ass bitch cop, no, he's unconscious. You cannot take his blood. And that cocksucker handcuffed the fucking nurse and threw her in the back of the fucking car. By the way, that guy was removed from the police department. Just a little update on that. So, I will not participate in any public displays put on by administrative agencies, including but not limited to State Debt, Office of Recovery Services, Attorney General, Workforce Services, State of Utah, or any other agency to provide more revenue to your corporation without there being a benefit and an agreed to obligation with full disclosure. I do not understand, I don't stand under your 80,000 codes, nor am I a U.S. citizen defined in U.S. code. Therefore, I do not consent. I will not participate in public controversy. Okay? So that thing that I said earlier about you're not supposed to question the public debt, well, there it is right there. Okay? I'm not going to participate in your bullshit administrative, kangaroo courts. Under invisible adhesion contracts such as the driver's license, registrations, banking, and of course that all-important Social Security number, I was unaware of this connection to public debt that I was to bear because of omission of facts by the state. Hang on a second, somebody's at the door. Okay, sorry about that. Try and have a child and walk out without signing a birth certificate and registering that child with the state. See what happens. Or unemployment so-called benefits. Or how about this fact that child support is being added to every divorce so that the state can obtain federal grant money with no evidence the father is unfit, no evidence of non-support, and no evidence of a contract for child support services with the father. Or the prison industrial complex, or the fact that the court system is commercial and everything is about the fees, fines, and penalties, and there's no damaged party. Every time I get involved with a state agency, it has a negative effect on my life, even registering my automobile. By omission of facts, people are giving in an interest to the state and they don't even know it. Now that I know your agencies have not had clean hands and come in good faith, I would like to be left alone. As a matter of fact, I demand the state of Utah leave me alone. I am not in your corporate commercial jurisdiction. I am not in any corporate jurisdiction, nor am I beholden to any contracts I might have signed or agreed to that did not have consideration, full disclosure, the terms and conditions, and two-party signatures constituting a binding contract. I am expecting you to inform your public servants in your employ of my status within the state and my intentions while I am domiciled in the republic called Utah. If I have a bank account open in my name, I expect the state and the bank, regardless of regulations between the two, to respect my privacy and leave me alone and not remove funds without written consent. If I have an automobile registered, it is not because I want to contract with the state. It is because I do not wish to be harassed by corporate policy enforcers carrying firearms who have not been trained or informed about the difference between public and private. Further, Douglas Dmoomey, that's me, I am exempt from levy, tax exempt, non-incorporated, statute immune. I have diplomatic immunity and sovereign immunity, and my sovereign status is foreign to and not subject to the status of citizen, resident, felon, non-custodial, obligor, taxpayer, person, subject, constituent, or debtor, or any other titles, statutes, code, regulations, ordinance, or policies used under the corporate United States or state of Utah or any derivatives thereof without a valid contract. This man expressly reserves all rights under UCC 1-308, also found, and you might want to look that up too. Look your own code up because the Uniform Commercial Code has a number, but they basically have it's under 70A in Utah, under reservation of rights, and I waive none forevermore. The only way any government agency can contract with me is in the private. Under Article 1, Section 8, Clause 10 of the Constitution, my right to contract is unlimited, and my right to know and have full disclosure is required in any valid contract. You fucking know that, or it's void. Attached is a letter of proof of claim. Here's my notarized birth certificate. Here's the trust. Copy of the confirmation that I actually, filed the stuff with the Secretary of State. Here's photos of all the documents. Government authority, lack thereof. I just showed you guys that. I've also placed the copyright on my name, and I would appreciate it if you would remove my property from your computers. Okay? I will expect a reply in 15 days. If you fail to respond, your silence will be construed as agreement that all alleged obligations are set off, discharged, and have a zero balance, and that the agencies referenced above have been told to cease and desist. All right, that's 23 minutes. We're going to do another one. Peace.